There you go.
You on mute?
He's muted. You're muted, Mike. Mike, you're muted.
Still muted.
How about now?
Yes.
All right, good.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Victory Monday on the main stage. It's open mic night, so get your comments in. Let's hear your take, your opinions on the heels of this Detroit Lions victory in Lambeau Field. It was a statement win by the Detroit Lions, 20-16. This is the main stage. I'm your host, Main Event Mike, along with our producer, Russ Wayne, Greg Rice out on the West Coast. And this is our panel of headliners. Looks like we've got Detroit Jesus joining as well. Melvin G., welcome to the program, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Time now to recap this victory by the Lions and get initial reactions from our panel. Here at the main event, every show is like a song, and it's time now for the first verse, brought to you by Remax Edge and the Quinn and Phaedra Bartlett team. Be sure to call Quinn and Phaedra for all your real estate needs. They are your real estate professionals. Hashtag Quinn and Phaedra sell houses. Greg Rice in California, the West Coast Stat Master. What is your reaction, brother? I couldn't wait to talk to you today because I know you're loving this one. Even though we didn't make the playoffs, beating the evil empire and kicking them out of the playoffs is so good, right?
You know, this win means so much, man. It is not very often in my lifetime as a Lions fan I've been able to say we went into Lambeau and we took care of business, especially with Aaron Rodgers under center. You know, this win truly meant something, not only for us as fans, but I think as the players and the franchise as a whole.
Right on. Good call. Russ Wayne, what's your initial reaction on this statement win?
My initial reaction, because I've already seen some of the comments in there that the Lions got lucky. Here, let me help you understand something. We've already witnessed the last Aaron Rodgers victory over the Detroit Lions. It's never going to happen again. Your days are over. They're not going to win another game. I saw in his face, it's over for you. We own the Packers.
Those were some empty eyes, weren't they? Void of joy.
Hey,
Melvin G's on the program. Detroit Jesus, what's your first reactions about this game?
Told you so, Packer fans.
We thought they were.
Got him, coach.
I told you.
There's no doubt about it. You told them. That's for sure. Put them on notice days in advance. Gave them a place to put their excuses. Did any of them put their excuses in that forum? I didn't see that.
No, they avoided it. They avoided their own excuses, like the play.
Oh,
tried to say the excuse Detroit Lions fans would make, but the only excuse we can make is we should be in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a good call out. Good call out. Yeah, definitely great win for the Lions, 20-16. Defense stepped up. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers get one touchdown in 2 games against the Detroit Lions' worst-ranked defense. I don't know if that says something about them or something about us, but there were a lot of game breakers in this game. We can go breakers, fakers all the way around the country if you guys want. Yeah, as we all know, shortly after we went off the air last Monday, the DeMar Hamlin situation happened. So for Breakers, for me, it's got to be the medical staff that revived him on the field. God bless you. And we just thank the Lord above that that has a happy ending right now. So that's my Breakers. My faker is going to be Nelson, the lineman for the Lions. He robbed us of the incredible electric touchdown from Jamison Williams. And, I can't fault the refs. That was a horrible, horrible holding call. He mauled the guy. And so it's a bummer because it really didn't even affect the play. Because Goff was, in such a deep drop. So I really, it's a bummer that happened. So Nelson gets the faker for me, but I'll send it over to Russ now. Who's your breaker and faker?
Man, I have to say that the breaker is, I'm going to say Aiden Hutchinson. I'm going to single him out for getting the sacks, putting the pressure on Aaron Rodgers, because it's impossible to beat a quarterback that's that good without getting him off of his spot. And they made him uncomfortable all day long. And it wasn't just Hutchinson, but Hutchinson benefited from the sacks, but it was the entire defensive line as a breaker. But I'm going to single out Hutchinson just in case somebody else wants to single somebody else out. And the fakers goes out to that entire panel of dumbasses that picked against the Lions, not named Tony Dungy.
Yeah, good call out. Melvin G, who broke it and who folk it? Folk
it. Who broke it, man? I'm gonna give it to the boy Kirby Joseph. The first player in Aaron Rodgers' career to intercept him 3 times in one season, happens to be a rookie, probably happens to be his last pass ever thrown in Green Bay. He broke Aaron Rodgers. He broke the fucking game. Like, that was the end of it. Sent you home. Well, sent you to your real house because we were at your house. What is it? Come to your trap and take over your trap, baby, all year long. And my fakers got to be the Green Bay Packers. You thought you were going to make it to playoffs. We had Packer fans saying like, "Oh, this isn't going to be a failure of a season if we don't make the playoffs." Newsflash: it's 100% a failure. Everybody's laughing at you. Good luck next year.
Greg Rice, breakers and fakers.
In terms of breakers, man, I got to give it up to Bugs. That guy came out of nowhere and just essentially set the precedence for our run defense. Just another gem that Brad Holmes picks up off the waiver wire, comes in and contributes. He really helped set the pace for just shutting down that Green Bay run. In terms of fakers, man, I was in the chat with Melvin yesterday. I was actually really disgusted between Quay Walker, that forearm shot that was given to Swift, and Devontae Wyatt, man. I thought those were all really cheap shots. And it kind of reminds me of, who was it, Martin, that after tackle on Jim McMahon from way back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Just really dirtbag play by the Packers. Like, if you're a Packers fan and you've seen that and you're trying to defend it, I was in the chat yesterday and one Packers fan brought up Sue. Look, Sue's no longer a part of this team, man. And it was actually kind of just disgusting kind of hearing cheeseheads trying to validate this kind of just dirt ball play, So I got to say fakers, definitely Quay Walker's crying ass, and Devontae Wyatt, man. Just real crap, disrespectful play. So
I love that call out, Greg Rice. I love that call out so much, because so many times we see these things and you're not sure if it's intentional. I think we were 100% sure that was an intentional blow to the head with his forearm, like trying to take his head right off on a play that's over.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit, and I think it's a great call out as a faker right there. So we're going to talk about now Russell Wayne's favorite topic, and that is golf. Jared, golf, 23
can I throw something out?
Wait.
Go ahead.
I just want to throw out a bonus faker, and that's got to go to Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico. Absolutely blowing last night. It was not about Aaron Rodgers. It was not about how he's looking off to the sky. All credit should have been going to the Detroit Lions for hustling and working their ass off and finishing the season like they did. They dropped the ball.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Thank you.
definitely noteworthy on that.
Chris Collinsworth. Hey, Dad. My name's Chris Collinsworth. Me and Aaron Rodgers, we were out playing golf the other day. Because I know Aaron Rodgers. We hang out, right? And gosh, you just can't give Aaron. Shut up. Shut up.
So today we learned that Russ's Chris Collinsworth impression is way better than his Arnold Schwarzenegger. So
come on.
Yeah, because and I heard a rumor too that Collinsworth's gone after this year. Did anyone else hear that? I heard that on satellite radio that Collinsworth is gone after this year. That there's so many fan complaints about him that they're behind the scenes making moves to see what they can do to bring someone else in next year. So
why? He does such a good job, Mike. Why would they ever get rid of Collinsworth?
So many fans complain about him. So I don't know. It's just the sound of his voice is starting to get to people, I think. So we'll move now to the Jared Goff edge. Jared Goff, 23 of 34 for 224 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. But what a clean game the kid played. He had a rough first quarter. He short-armed a few throws. I think the cold, he was warming up. There were definitely a couple that were just short arms. But as the game went on, he started to zing them in there. They were on target. I thought he looked great. The pass to Khalif Raymond, had it not been for the DeMar Hamlin situation, I was going to give my breaker to Khalif. I've given it to him the last 2 weeks. Kid's really coming on. He doesn't have a giant stat line, but the catches are so big at big moments. Yep. What a throw by Goff on that play. Had the whole defense going left, zings it across his body to the other corner and catches Raymond right at the goal line. Now, I also want to call out the production staff on television. We never got a good angle to see if that was a touchdown, did we? To this day, we have not seen a down-the-line look. So Jared Goff didn't get a touchdown in his stat line. That one went to Jamal Williams, which no one's complaining about it. But had there been a godforsaken fumble or something there in that instance, we would have been just as livid as we've been the last few weeks of these production crews not giving us a good look at what these stupid penalties are.
Right.
And before we go delve into the offense a little more, I want to ask Melvin real quick. What do you think Russell Douglas there was doing when he had a blackout moment and decided to go touch the ball before the snap? Explain that to me, Melvin.
Just being stupid. He tried to justify it like, oh, I didn't want him to warm up with the kick and blah. It was just a bonehead, stupid play. And I like the couple Packer fans that I saw saying like, I understood what he was doing right on. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Nobody knew what he was doing.
Well, I heard on a sports radio program today that it was intentional to get a delay of game 5-yard penalty. Okay. But then there was a shove in the face on the play that got us 15 yards. So we kicked a 30-yard field goal instead of a 47-yard field goal. So the whole thing worked out. But wasn't that odd at the time? I mean, I've never seen anything like that in all my years of watching football. Greg, you got anything to add about that play? That was interesting.
You got the mute on.
Muted, bro.
Anything with sound that you can add?
Okay. No sign language? No, just reflecting on the game, I don't know. It looks like the Packers just kind of went on the field, and when things weren't going their way, they just kind of looked like they lost their composure. Just bringing up that play too. Just really kind of a bitter team that I like. They got some good young talent there, but with this loss, there's so many questions going forward again. And it's just, I don't know. Like I said, it just looks like the Packers, all this maturity from playoff runs that they choked in, obviously. But all that, none of it came to fruition. And they look like a team that was just kind of struggling to just match us. So.
Well, we've got quite a lot of comments coming on the open stage tonight. I love it. People want to sing the chorus of this song tonight. And I love it. Our producer, Russell Wayne, calls it a beatdown. And it seems like we got a lot of Packer fans in this chat today. Telling you, Russell Wayne, beat down. Tell me, you don't even know your ass from a hole in the ground, do you? I think Russell Wayne knows his ass from a hole in the ground because he accurately predicted that the Lions would win this game by 4 points. So he absolutely doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. But thank you so much for chiming in, even with a bad opinion. Lions got lucky, one Facebook user wants to say. Okay, we like luck. 9-8, we didn't make the playoffs, so I'm not sure how lucky that is. What's in the trophy case? Not a damn thing is what they say. Well, you know what's in the trophy case? Not a damn thing, but that trophy case is made by the Ford Motor Company, buddy. We ain't going nowhere, okay? We are not owned by a local community economy. So thank you so much. Can't be at the funeral for SOL, please. It's time we lay it to rest, fellas. And I love this comment. Thank you, Facebook user. And I know that we are aligned here, Russ, you and I, that the SOL is gone. Anybody who's still claiming the SOL narrative, I don't want to say they don't know football, but they haven't been paying attention to the last 2 years in Detroit. So, Greg Rice, I want to hear from you on this one. Is the SOL dead? Should we have a funeral for it?
Absolutely. Look, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. When we were sitting there at 1-6, man, it was not a pretty sight. And I think a lot of it was to do with youth and just growing on the job, you know, and the manner in which we finished out the second half of this season, you guys, I don't think I've seen this since the 90s. Really, I don't remember us playing this hard, playing this well in December since I was a child, you know. The manner, like I said, of us going, there's not too many times in my life where I say we go into Lambeau this late in the year and we take care of business. But that's exactly what we did, you know. This is year 2 of a rebuild. We tripled our win total. Like we missed the playoffs. Yeah, it sucks. But I mean, what more could you really ask for in year 2 of a rebuild? I think SOL is dead. And I see a lot of bitter Packer fans comments in there like, what do you want? You had free reign of this division for so long, and you choked every damn year. You couldn't beat the Niners, like ever. We're talking Jimmy G and Colin Kaepernick. You had free reign in this division, essentially in this conference, and every year you choked it. And I see the bitterness in the comments, and you just know it's because they know that if not next year, that their time's coming to an end soon. And what do you do?
Right. Yeah. But we welcome all opinions here. This is an open mic. It's open mic night on the main event. We've got a Packer fan here that says y'all beat the worst Packers team in 10 years and act if it's the Super Bowl.
That's that sounds like an excuse.
No, we don't. I don't think so. No, but we've had our hearts ripped out by these Packers a lot, buddy. So it's our time to get a little redemption, and I know you guys are feeling that. And by the way, this Packer team was on a 4-game winning streak and being called the hottest team in the NFL all week long by every media outlet in the country. They've also scored more points in the last 4 games than they had in any stretch of the season. So if we caught the worst team in Packers history at their best. And by the way, we beat them twice. And in 2 games, they scored 1 touchdown against the worst defense in the league. So, no, we're not acting like it's the Super Bowl, but your opinion is welcome. It was no beatdown. Lions won only by 4 points. Not a bad beatdown. No, but when you consider we were up, we were a 4.5-point underdog going into the game. That's an 8.5-point swing, and that's a pretty good showing. Savor this day. Let me know when you whiff an NFC championship or a Super Bowl. Okay, let's put a
like that.
Melvin, I want you to field that one. Savor this day. Let me know when you whiff an NFC championship or a Super Bowl.
That's coming real soon.
Yeah.
That's coming real soon. And it's coming sooner than the Packers will ever see another one again. That's fact.
Yes, sir.
We're in good hands right now with Brad Holmes and Campbell. Go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, Russ.
I'm just, I'm sorry to like interrupt, but you kind of let those people like beat the shit out of me and called on the other 2 guys on the panel. Like these guys are saying, they're calling out my thing. We beat you down. We went into your spot. We had nothing to play for. You guys had everything to play for and laid an egg because our offensive line beat the shit out of your defensive line. Our defensive line beat the shit out of your offensive line. All you have is excuses. We don't have a good history. What are you going to say? 1957. We already know we don't have a good history. So the history lesson doesn't help. We're talking about the here and the now. And the here and the now, we own the Packers. You ain't won. We're 3-0. We haven't won in over a year. Save it.
Call out.
And another thing too, like this whole, congratulations, you beat the worst Packers team and blah, 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 and all this. You weren't saying that shit 2 days ago. You were talking about how you were going to run roughshod through us, how you had 12 turnovers in 4 games, how, you're on a winning streak and you're so good, when really your winning streak consisted of the Bears, the fledgling Dolphins, the sorry-ass Rams, and you acted like you were good. And this whole, you won your Super Bowl. That's such a lame, predictable response. In fact, it's so lame and predictable. My good friend Hubert Southall posted a post about that, saying exactly that you Packers fans would say that, because that's lame and predictable you are, because you can't take an L, because you're not used to losing. You don't know what it's like to lose, and now you're losing your minds, and you're going to lose more than that in the next couple of years. So sucks to be y'all.
Great take. Russ, you got anything else to jab in there on the Packer fans? I'm not much of a smack talker. I leave that to the professionals here on our headliner panel.
Well,
you got anything else?
I got one more thing. Here's the thing: is like y'all act like we was talking a bunch of smack last week. We have a bunch of Lions fans were like very, very scared, PTSOL, over this Packers team. Like we weren't sitting out here thinking that we were just gonna run right over for the average. There's a couple of fans out here that were thinking that Melvin was predicting a beatdown. But the thing is like I predicted a win, but I thought that, it was PTSOL. I was thinking that you guys were going to beat us, and you should have. You had the world was your oyster. And guess what? Aiden Hutchinson did a Lambeau leap right on your shit. It's over.
Greg Rice.
What? Hey, real quick, I just want to clear this up. So I was in a chat yesterday with Melvin. Right before the game started, I was like, oh, shit, I got a bad feeling about this game. I am not going to lie. I was completely a SOL type guy myself. But like I said, man, it just comes us down to winning this game and taking everything from the Packers, everything that we heard about all week, that, we hit our stride. Watson is the real deal. Dog, we got everything's going. And we just put a stop to it, And then you sit there and look at the Packers, who are in the Super Bowl era, only the third best team in the conference. Is it better than the Lions? Sure. But you guys act like you're something you're not. And that is some modern champion. Like, sure, you guys won it over a decade ago. You guys haven't even sniffed the Super Bowl since then. Year after year, it's choke, choke, choke. And every year you guys choke. You come up with these excuses. The reality is you just got swept by a better team this year. And there ain't no way around that.
Yeah. You got swept by that team.
That team.
That team.
Facebook user says, is this
that
live?
Team.
Yes.
Another
Facebook user says, can I get on this show, please? Well, StreamYard will send you an invitation to accept, and then we'll actually be able to see your name. But as an anonymous Facebook user, no, we probably cannot let you on the show. But we love to have people on the panel, don't we, Russ? Send us a message, right?
Yeah, send us a message.
Get on the show. We're not scared.
Yeah,
Packers
and I'll tell you
themselves on offense. Detroit had 6 points going into the half. I wouldn't get too excited. That's a good point. What was you going to say, Ross? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that Melvin's our champion. If you think you can win a smack off against Melvin, I don't think that you can. Melvin is the king of smack talk, and I don't think that you have the balls to go one-on-one against the great one.
Master Blaster runs Border Town.
That's all made up, man. I'm chilling.
And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Well, and then when other Facebook says, well, y'all are trash, still congrats on your Super Bowl win. We're trash.
Yes.
We're the youngest trash team in the league.
Look,
some of the beat down Lions are lucky.
Garbage disposal.
Yeah.
Once is luck. Once is luck, twice is a coincidence, 3 is a trend.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but facts just destroy that narrative, but I really appreciate the comment. All right, let's move on back. We'll get back to the chorus again, like every good song. We'll get back to the chorus and get some more of these comments. You can keep your comments and opinions and your takes rolling in. We honor them. One Facebook user says, Melvin Griffin, link, please. So you can address that one, Melvin, because he wants, I think it's a challenge. I think that's the equivalent of saying, I want you, Balboa.
I don't control that. That's on these two fellas, however they want to do their show, but you already know, man. I'm
you can find him. He ain't hard to find. He ain't ducking anyone.
And all I know is that as Don King right here, you can't just like walk up and walk out and just say, get a title shot. Who are you? That's what I want to know before you get a shot with Melvin. Are you kidding me?
Right on. Let's talk about the defense now. We kind of skipped right over the offense. Wait a minute. Let's go back to the offense. We can't go anywhere. We kind of got sidetracked here, but we cannot ignore Swaggy. hitting 1,000 yards. I don't care if it's a 17-yard game season. It's still a great milestone. It's the first one of his career. Everyone loves Jamal, and everyone knows that. So let's start there and kick that around the panel. How big is it, Greg Rice, that the Lions get their first 1,000-yard runner since 2013?
It's big. Look, we have struggled. We can break this down. We have struggled to find a consistent running game since Barry Sanders left. It has been that bad. Reggie Bush came in. He gave us a very good year. Joyke Bell came in on some spotty work. Like Jamal Williams, I love this guy. Everything he brings, he exudes what this Dan Campbell era is about. You know what I mean? Fun, let loose, be competitive, be emotional, like just get it. And I really do hope that Jamal Williams is a Detroit Lion next year at the right price.
At the right price. That's the key.
And I hate putting a stipulation on it, man. I really do, because like everything I just previously said, man, but I know his agent's probably going to want a pretty penny, and why not, man? He has some of the most admirable stats of any running back in this league. So, and he broke Barry Sanders' rushing record for a season. Like, what else could you ask for?
Yep.
So, I mean, I hope you are Detroit Lion next year, Swaggy, at the right price, man. Congratulations to you. You passed one of the all-time greats, if not the greatest. So,
I mean, so many times we hear the term, he's the heart and soul of the team. He's the heart and soul of the team. I think this guy genuinely is the heart and soul of this team, and it would be a tragedy to lose him. Melvin, Detroit Jesus, tell me, is it big to have 1,000-yard rusher, though, in Detroit for the fan base?
I mean, I think it's just big, period. You know what I mean? You look across the league, unless you're like a superstar at quarterback, like you need some type of running game. You need some type of balance. You know what I mean? Like, you can't get away with just a bare minimum running game unless you're like Kansas City or some shit. And that we're not, so absolutely. And we see the years of Detroit where having no running game got us. We could never get over the hump. We could never get where we wanted to be. And like, we're a team, man. We are a fucking team.
Well, I'll tell you what, the run game only produced 104 yards total. Jamal Williams, 16 carries for 72 yards and two touchdowns. And I think it's huge that we get 1,000-yard runner just for that offensive line. It's, that's a huge accomplishment for them. Russ Wayne, I know you love the O-line. Is that big for them to get 1,000-yard rusher?
Oh, for sure. And you got to give a lot of credit. I mean, probably most of the credit to it. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier in the year about the 1,000-yard thing, that it's not worth as much as it used to be. And I disagree with that, because back in the day, it used to be one guy would carry the ball like 700 times in a game. But now they do so much like 2-back and 3-back systems that it's impressive for any running back to get 1,000 yards in this league, even in the 17-game season.
Absolutely. The rest of the running backs also pulled their weight last night. DeAndre Swift, 6 carries for 25 yards, really active in the passing game, 7 for 7 targets, 7 catches, 61 yards, and some runs were big. A nice third down draw play to get the first down. And then I want to call out Justin Jackson. He only had one reception. And it was an 11-yard reception, and he split the two defenders and muscled in for the first down. That was a huge play that kept – I mean, what contributions this team was getting from every angle. Somebody's stepping up and making a play. It was great to watch that. For the rest of this offense, what else stood out to you, Greg?
That sign language again. It's
that's interesting. Very interesting. That's a good point, Greg.
Hey, thank you, man. I put it all together. On a real note, I just, when it comes down to it, man, every little bit of waiver wire, of UDFA, everything Brad Holmes has brought in, well, I'll say 95% he's brought in, has contributed, man. From the Isaiah Buggs, the Kaminsky's, even the little signings. Me and Melvin were just talking about this, man. We haven't had much money to play with, you guys. There's been no big name free agent signings other than DJ Chark, and essentially just to have money, we had to save half his cap hit for next year. That's how little money we've had, man. And just Cleve Raymond, like, this guy was essentially a write-off. This guy turns into a return specialist who, when called upon, you guys, look, he's never going to be a big superstar, put up those big time, but when called upon, he comes in and puts in work, man. And what more could you ask for from your depth pieces is to come in and contribute consistently. So.
Right on. Let's talk about the defense now, Russ Wayne. What stood out for you on the defense?
Well, the defense was like what we were talking about on the way in, is like they had to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and that's exactly what they did. They were a problem from everywhere that they were trying to get pressure. They were covering for long enough, and they were making Aaron Rodgers have to get rid of the ball very, very fast. And I know that he likes to push the ball downfield and all that, and they also boxed up the run. So they weren't, or they were not only getting pressure, but they were also bottling up the run and keeping Aaron Jones and Dillon away from beating us.
That's right. Green Bay Packers rushed for 103 yards. Aaron Jones, 48 yards. A.J. Dillon, 33 yards. So I don't know. I think they got out-coached for sure, right? Mm-hmm. The Packers ran the ball with like a 4-yard average. I think they just went away from it. I didn't think they called a very good game, play calling offensively. So a little nod to the Packer fans there that have been saying the same thing I saw on social media today. They were questioning some of the play calling. I got to go with that. But the Lions play calling, they left it all out there. We saw a flea flicker, a double reverse, a hook and ladder play. Haven't seen a hook and ladder play, for a very long time. And they pulled out all the stops. They were clicking on all cylinders, and the defense just stood tall on every play. Both teams only 4 for 12 on third down. Big fourth down stop by the defense. That was a real momentum swinger in the game. Defense getting a stop. The Packers 1 for 2 on fourth down. Dan Campbell 2 for 2 on fourth down. I think the Lions coaching out-coached the Packers hands down. And every time they kept showing Matt LaFleur on the camera there, I was thinking, man, this guy looks like he smells like patchouli oil. But I think we definitely out-coached him. What do you think, Melvin?
Oh, 100%, man. And the defense came to play. The defense took everything that was said personal, and it showed on that field. And, I mean, it was a great game all around, coaching and defense.
D-line played good. Greg Rice.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, the defense. Sorry, that had a glitch in my matrix there. No, defensively, like I said, man, all these no-name players come to contribute. Kirby Joseph would essentially have 2 INTs, if not for Kaminsky, a legit hands to the face. It was legit this time, Lions.
It was
fans.
legit.
I can't say it wasn't.
Yep.
But like I said, the Kaminskys, the Bugs, Benito Jones, people just out of nowhere, no names coming in here and contributing. When you say out-coached, development is something big here that we're doing in Detroit the last couple of years. How many times, you guys, have we seen players drafted in round 2, round 3 that just end up kind of mediocre at best, or rotational players? It's such a blessing, man. Everything that is coming defensively, you guys. I mean, there was a couple bad plays where Christian Watson had a great game. I think that kid's got a great future. Yeah. But other than that, we played a complete defensive game in Lambeau, where we were supposed to be in fear of this great Packers resurgence that just never really happened to us yesterday. So other than a few blown plays on the goal line, we were stout once again.
Russ, did we out-coach them?
Absolutely. I mean, they won the game, but I thought that honestly,
those two things aren't exclusive.
Well, I'll answer the question. I think they outcoached them. And from the point of when we went into the Lions den and we were at the beginning of the game, I was like, hey, man, I'm really, really worried that they just found out that they didn't make the playoffs. How is that going to affect the psyche? How is that going to affect them going into play against a team that is absolutely fighting to get into the playoffs? So that is a testament to coaching, that they kept them all up for the game. And even though they didn't technically have anything to play for, that they made something, that respect was something that they were going to play for.
Well, there are several examples that I could give you, gentlemen, about how we outcoached them, but I'll give you one right now. The Green Bay Packers committed an offsides penalty on purpose to stop the clock or two, and we declined the penalty to give us another 40 seconds because Dan Campbell knew he could get that first down. And that was a brilliant coaching move.
Amen.
Dan Campbell and brilliant coaching move. I don't think I put those two things together in a sentence all year. I was very critical of this guy, right? Rightly so. We'd be in the playoffs if he had not given the Minnesota game away. We'd be undefeated in the division. Minnesota Vikings, congratulations on your North victory. You winning the title, congratulations. But you know, and we all know, that a couple of coaching calls cost us that game in Minnesota, or we wouldn't even be in the position we were in yesterday in Lambeau, okay? You might have still won the division, but we would have been 6-0 in the division in the end, and no, undisputedly the Kings of the North. So, Dan Campbell, fine job. Ben Johnson, incredible play calling. I mean, it was like Sam Weish all over again. I mean, these crazy trick plays that are just popping. I loved it. We also kicked their ass in the special teams game, which is a point that the Packers were so happy with, that they had improved in the special teams game. Deshaun Nixon, a super talented return guy, we shut him down.
Yes, sir.
And our return men averaged 20 yards per return, so it's pretty good. Let's move on now to the bridge. The bridge is brought to you by the Mount Holly Ski Lodge and the Ski Lift Lounge. And we're going to talk now about, do the Lions own the NFC North now? Oh, and you know we're going to start with Detroit Jesus on this one. Does the NFC North run through the Detroit Lions, and do we own the Packers specifically?
In 2023, all roads lead through Detroit.
Dan Campbell said that too.
We're taking that shit over next year. And honestly, 5-1 in the North, it kind of looks like we own y'all motherfuckers right now.
Hold on, I got to take a note. Never take a drink before Melvin talks.
That's right. That's right.
All right, Russell Wayne, do we own the Packers?
Absolutely. I mean, we've won the last 3 games, and you could see the turn of the tide. You could see the look on Aaron Rodgers' face when he knew we have a rookie class that is historically good at getting after the passer. 19 and a half sacks with our rookie class. That means that not only are we good, but we're going to be good for a while. We're actually not even as good with the team that we have right now that we are going to be without making any improvements. But we are going to have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a third-round pick. And roughly, after all the restructures and the releases, maybe $50 to $60 million for Brad Holmes to do that thing that he does right there. We absolutely own the Packers. You will never see another victory in this decade.
Wow, what a statement. Greg Rice, are you willing to go that far?
As far as the Packers not seeing another victory against us in a decade, probably not. We are play them twice a year. They'll eventually see one.
I'll even renege on that. I'm just
on a real note, you guys, like straight up, you do see the turn of the tide, man. And I see a lot of Packers fans, like, it's not even good smack talk anymore as much as, like, look, last year Brad Holmes gave us a top 10 draft class. This year, easily a top 5 in the league. We just spoke about all the UDFAs, all the waiver wire acquisitions. Can you imagine what he's going to do with 5 picks in the first 3 rounds this year, as well as Russell was just alluding to, after a couple obvious cuts, restructures, and $50 to $60 million in free agency? Like, come on now. Like you could break it down, chop it up any way you want to. If you do not see this Lions team trending up, and you do not see this Lions team as a real threat for the NFC North next year, then you're not even really a football fan. You're just a fanatic who doesn't see anything beyond your team and probably doesn't really know what's going on in the NFL.
Right. Let's go back to the comments now, back to the chorus, the open mic. We've had a lot of people chiming in. We appreciate each and every one of you. Even if you don't like us, you don't like our opinions, we appreciate you watching, and we appreciate you putting your opinion in and stepping up to the open mic because, we like to hear from you. We got one Facebook user that says, everyone's laughing at you guys. Congratulations on having a seat on the couch. Next to us, you guys are clowns. Maybe there was a inappropriate pause there. Let's try to read that again. On having a seat on the couch next to us, you guys are clowns. It doesn't matter. because I understand that thinking. If you're not a Lions fan, you have no idea what it is like. Okay,
Yeah.
PTSOL is real. It's also a registered trademark of the Main Event 365 2022. Please drink responsibly. Anyway, we are talking about a psyche problem as a fan where you don't get to do this very often, okay? And when you do, you jump in and you embrace it. And now we have a coaching staff, we have front office. I believe we even have ownership now with this lady, Sheila, taking over, who also embraces that same kind of passion. So I'm not going to apologize that everyone's laughing at us. It's kind of funny when you think about it. The Lions beat the Packers twice. That's hilarious.
You know,
What's the difference? They were laughing anyway. Like they were laughing all the. It's like don't laugh. That's what we did. We just went and got a respect. Now it doesn't matter if you laugh anymore.
Doesn't matter if you laugh.
Well, let's hold on. But let's be honest here. Who's laughing other than salty Packer fans?
Yeah.
I wanna know who's
Yeah.
laughing. Can you tell me who's laughing?
But they are who we
'Cause
thought they were.
Last I checked, okay, we were out of control for our own destiny, right? So we couldn't do anything about whatever the Seahawks did. You were in control of your destiny. We snatched that destiny out of your hands. Everybody's laughing at you.
Yeah.
You failed again with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Here you are. You're at the end of his career. This is your window, and you failed once again. Ha ha.
Greg Rice, you want to chime in?
I mean, Melvin just pretty much hit it there. You know, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks back to back. Like I said, I've seen this before. Steve Young, Joe Montana, they got 5 out of it. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, 2.
Yeah. But the point
what
here,
do you do?
gentlemen, the point here is that as Lions fans, our bar is too low, is why they're laughing.
Yeah.
Okay. Because to them, that's hilarious. They would be crushed if they finished 9-8 and missed the playoffs. Like they're crushed now, being 8-9, missing the playoffs.
You're welcome.
So they're laughing at us because our bar is that low. That's something that we can't control. But as I look out to the horizon, I see 10 years of relevance coming up with the sunrise. So it's a good place to be.
Yep.
Let's go back to the comments now. Anything in these comments that's sticking out to you, Russ?
I mean, it's just a lot of. I mean, it's a lot of salty Packer fans and a bunch of Lions fans that are just happy that we won. Blow.
Hey,
Man.
hey, you guys, just a couple comments here we got on Ben Johnson for the Denver job. I heard about the Houston job. I didn't hear about the Denver one, though.
Yeah, I saw that one in there. Let me put that one up there, the Ben Johnson. But you want to hit that one up? Do you think that we're going to lose any of our coaches?
I don't.
Not to Houston. Not to Houston.
Yeah.
Like, because Ben Johnson, as we can see, he's a genius. Offensively, you know, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But no, but like, so he should be smart enough to avoid that job like the plague. That is a dumpster fire trash organization over there.
Yeah.
Nick Caserio is a trash GM.
Yeah.
Like it took them 3 years to get rid of that trash Jack Easterby, who's nothing but a snake. Like that whole organization just reeks of just failure and pitifulness. So I think we're safe with Houston at least.
Yeah. Melvin just touched on it. Look at what Houston's done. Back-to-back firing head coaches who stepped into probably one of the worst situations for any NFL franchise at any point in time in history. I think Houston is going to struggle to find a head coach going forward. The Denver job might have a little bit more appeal to it. You look on paper and look, the Broncos let Russ cook. All that was huge meme material. In all reality, though, all BS aside, you get someone in there that knows what they're doing, and that team has talent. You know, in fact, I would go as far as say this: if not for teams like the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders, we would have heard a lot more about the Packers' failures. This Packers team that was supposed to be a Super Bowl contending team after all the talent they added post Devontae Adams. And
Right. One of our Facebook users says LaFleur had questionable play calling all season long. It's like he found an old Mike McCarthy playbook and decided to pull from it all season. The 2022 playbook needs to be thrown away and hell burn in a trash can. So I think that goes back to our point. I have to agree with that. There was nothing creative going on. And to Greg Rice's point earlier, Christian Watson made a believer out of me last night. The game has slowed down. I think he's going to be, I definitely knocked the guy. He's going to be a great receiver going forward. I think he's got so much potential. That one-handed grab he made was great. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like Amon-Ra who caught a ball with his testicles, but I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So thanks for the Facebook user to chime in there. Collinsworth talks way too much, kind of like me. I know it. Blow back blow. Goff is horrible if he's not in a dome. Right. That I think we were destroying that, aren't we? We are the kings of the North. Well, I think that wraps it up for the comment section. Really appreciate everyone coming in now. We're going to move back again now to our next segment. Brought to you by Mothers of Joy University, one family at a time. And what I want to talk about now is, now that the playoffs are set and there is one NFC North team in the playoffs, that is our division. Do we now root for our division? Like we do in college football, we still root for the Big Ten, and all that. Melvin G, you say no. You say we want the Vikings to lose to anyone.
When I was a young, naive football fan, I was with the old, gee golly, if we can't make it, I hope somebody in the North does. Nah. Like, I am an old, grizzled, weather-worn veteran of this shit. And if we don't make it, damn everybody else.
Yeah.
And I damn sure don't want to see the Vikings bring anything home, because I don't want to hear them. Like, oh, you're the only team. Like, you're still the only team in the North without a division or without a championship. So, like, I don't want to hear that, oh, well, you're the only team in the North without a Super Bowl. You're going to remain Super Bowl-less. We're going to win one before you. Keep being bums.
Wow. Yeah. This year in particular, I can't get on it because of the Hawkinson thing. I want them to go out early and boom, that's a wash. Greg Rice, what about you? Is the competition in the North too fierce to root for the Vikings?
Hell yeah, it is. I'm going to put it to you like this. Screw the Vikings. They're a fraudulent team. Those 12 wins are I'm sorry, man. You look at, 11 of 12 wins by one possession? Come on, man. Let's get real here. You are not real. Every real team you face, and look, man, I don't even consider the Cowboys a real team. This is a team that constantly chokes in the playoffs, and they whooped your ass, man. I'm really looking at this matchup they got against the Giants, man. With a depleted offensive line, they're going up against Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, and a great defense, and essentially Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones. And I still don't think they're going to win. If they do, whoever they face in that divisional round, you're done. That's a wrap. You're a pretending-ass team. I will never root for you. I remember you guys thought you were a hot shit back in the late 90s when you had Moss Carter. Amazing offense, still couldn't do anything. And you won't get anything done now. I promise you, and I will never root for you, and I wish you nothing but the worst.
Wow. Russell Wayne, how about you? Do we root for the Vikings?
No way. No way, because they're frauds. Here's the thing, like, even if I was trying to be smart and I wanted to root for the Vikings, I'm smart. So I'm not going to root in the playoffs with the 31st ranked defense. They're going to give up 400 yards of rushing to Saquon Barkley.
Wow. Well, I think Justin Jefferson's the best receiver in the league, and Kirk Cousins is from Holland, Michigan, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to get on the NFC North train in the playoffs. I do think they can beat the Giants, and I would predict that they will beat the Giants at home. But I hope they lose. We got another comment. Oh, it's from our sponsor, Twin and Phaedra Bartlett team from Remax Edge, who says, "Are we happy with 9-8?" Russ, are you happy? I know Russ Wayne is happy with 9-8. Are you?
Let's put it into perspective. I'm happy with 9-8, starting from the perspective that we started 1-6. I'm not happy with 9-8 as a record, no. But from starting at 1-6, turning that to 9-8. That, yes, I am happy with.
Okay. Greg Rice, you happy with 9-8?
I mean, Russell just alluded to it. Look, when we were doing this show, you guys, we were sitting at 1-6. I didn't have many good things to say about Coach Campbell. Nope. I like to have the talent Brad Holmes was bringing. I wasn't sold that this coaching staff was what we needed to develop it. After finishing the season 9-8, I'm a full-on believer in Campbell. Like I said, 5-1 in the division. a couple plays away from being 6-0. Am I happy with 9-8? I mean, not necessarily, but like Russell just alluded to, after starting 1-6, like what more could you ask for? We were, other than the Niners, the hottest team in the NFL in the second half. So
Right.
yeah, I'm good with 9-8. All
I think
things
you're
considered.
spot on with that take. I think you're spot on with that take. I'm not happy with 9-8. You know why? Because 10-7 is better. That's why.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, at 1-6, I was losing hope, man.
Yeah.
We need a quarterback. We need a coach.
Yeah.
Since then, I have completely turned around. They've made a believer out of me. I'll eat the crow. I'll tell you. I don't think we got our quarterback and we got our coach. So yes, I'm happy with 9-8 in that respect. Detroit Jesus, are we happy with 9-8?
Look, so kind of two ways, man. Yes and no. So we had 3 years of Matt Patricia. We are coming off of a 3-win season last year. You know, none of us expected playoffs this year. We're 9-8. So absolutely, I'm happy with where we are right now this season. Am I content? Like, absolutely not. Like, this is the floor. You know, this isn't the ceiling. Like, I'm
Right.
happy with where we're at right now because of where we started, the rebuild, and where we started this season with the 1-6. But I'm far from content.
Right on. This is the floor. I love that. I can't believe you said Matt Patricia's name. It's like Voldemort or something. We kind of shudder every time you say his name. And don't forget, folks, you can go over to mattpatriciastupidface.com and enter to win an NFL jersey, courtesy of the Main Event 365 and NFLshop.com. Quinn and Phaedra Bartlett, also from the Remax Edge team, say, are we happy with 9-8? We sure seem to have a problem with Caldwell's 9-7. We're back to where we started, aren't we? And I am kind of glad that you put that out there because I'm so tired of the Jim Caldwell narrative. Jim Caldwell was a great guy. He was a super nice guy. Players loved him. They played hard for him. Yes, he got us to 9-7. But if he was so great, how come no one else hired him after that? He's 67 years old today. So back then he was still young enough to coach, and no one hired him. We had the number of what was it, Melvin? Number 5 ranked defense that year and the number 10 ranked offense or something, or vice versa. Either way, we had a really good team.
Defense was ranked 3rd.
Yeah.
There
Third overall.
There you go. And the general consensus at that time was, man, if we had a coach that wasn't so damn conservative, we could get over the hump. So, and that was, maybe it was a bad call by the front office to make that change, but our front office stunk. So, yeah, maybe that was a bad call. But I think anytime we bring Jim Caldwell or Matt Millen or even Matt Patricia into this conversation, you're discounting everything Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have done. What has that got to do with anything and the price of tea in China? Nothing. Yeah. So I don't think we're right back where we started. I think this is the beginning of a new era. And as Melvin just said, this is the new floor. Our bar is now being raised, and you aren't going to laugh at the Detroit Lions anymore. Thanks for the comment, though.
So even if you do think we started or we're back where we started, okay, let me put it to you like this, right? So say you're a millionaire, you got your house, you got your everything, you're living nice. You start smoking crack and lose everything. Then you build everything back up, and you're a millionaire. Are you going to sit there and be like, well, I'm back where I started? No, you're going to be glad as hell you're back where you started, right?
Good shit.
Man, I'm ashamed to say I've been there. We go back to the comments. Man, thank you, everybody, for putting in your comments tonight. It's awesome. Our next question, I want to pose another question to the panel before we get to the comments. And I want to start it off with Greg Rice, our West Coast stat master. Be sure to follow him on Twitter at Greg Rice 20. That's with 2 G's because he's a double G. And Greg Rice, I want to ask you, are the Detroit Lions a contender for the Super Bowl in 2023? Not the division title, a Super Bowl.
That is that's a hard word to put next to the Detroit Lions. I just want to start it off with something a little bit more conservative, just a division title, or at worst, a wild card berth playoff win. Just get me that, man. Once we achieve those, I don't want to say baby steps, but once we achieve those major achievements for our franchise's history, in my opinion, then we can start talking. Like I said, just a division title playoff win, 2023. That is my expectation. Do I think that we are building towards a Super Bowl eventually, or a Super Bowl run, or being a true conference contender? Absolutely. In 2023, we're still going to be very young, you guys. We got a plethora of draft picks coming in. I'm not saying it's impossible, but just hitting that division title or getting that vaunted playoff win is something that I consider definitely more achievable, in my opinion.
Wow. Russell Wayne, I want to ask you one of the questions here, one of the comments here that came in. Congratulations, you beat a mediocre Packers team and are celebrating that. We aren't the same. We aspire to be champions. You aspire to beat us, which goes right back to what we had just said, where, we get that. That our bar has been lower all these years. What do you got to say to that comment?
Well, it was the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, and my cocky franchise is so above you all that you need to beat us, and us, that you would have to beat us in order to have your Super Bowl.
You peasants.
What
You
a
peasants.
cocky statement. You got your ass kicked, and there's nothing else to slice about it. Wow, whatever. You lost to that team, dude.
Yeah.
Quit whining. You lost. We're sitting here just being happy because we won a game, and we ain't having a parade. We just said that we're not happy with 9-8. We're not happy with it. I'm not happy about not being in the playoffs, and we are Super Bowl contenders next year. We have an offensive line that is signed for the next 4 years. We have a defensive line that just set the rookie sack record of all time, and you're going to add draft picks. And if we're not a Super Bowl contender next year, I think that, no, we're Super Bowl contender next year. Bring it.
Right.
Bring it.
Greg Rice, tell me, Super Bowl contenders, Greg Rice?
I think you already asked me. I think you're on to Melvin.
That's what I thought. I'm reading the comments here.
You're doing great.
We really appreciate everyone putting their comments in. It is open mic night. We'd like to mention our sponsor also. That is Toolology, the ultimate tool tribute at the world famous Machine Shop in Flint, Michigan on January 27th with special guest in 99. Toolology at the Machine Shop. It's going to be an incredible show. Tickets still available on eTix, and we appreciate them sponsoring our show. Also got a comment here from Matt Young, who says, Santa, Matt, gifts, Vikings win. Okay. I'm not sure what that's all about, but we appreciate you at least putting your name in there, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah.
If we are the same old Lions, Packers got swept by them same old Lions. Y'all must really suck. Well, I don't really want to get into too much smack talking on here because we've done plenty of it today, more than we normally do. We like to have serious football analysis on this show.
Correct.
I think the Lions are absolute Super Bowl contenders because once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. Ford Field's a very hard place to play. Jared Goff's very good in Ford Field. So when your quarterback plays well, your defense plays well, you got a shot to win the Super Bowl. So, yeah, I think we're contenders for sure. A lot of comments on here bashing us for celebrating a 9-8 season. For us celebrating a winning season, we're getting bashed for that. That's okay.
Celebrating a win because we have a podcast and we won this week. Sorry, guys. It's news. It's what freaking happened yesterday. My God.
Got a great comment here.
Wait a minute. Hey, we're not going to report the news today because Packer fans might become offended because it happened, guys. I'm sorry.
But what's funnier is if you'd have beat us last night, you'd be celebrating that. So what's that?
Oh, absolutely.
You'd be celebrating.
Same old kitties.
Yeah.
Kitties.
Okay. It's a weird take.
It is definitely.
My gosh. Any of these other comments in here? They you see StreamYard kicked Mike off right here. You can't even have a show, right?
I think the cat might have did it.
Okay. The kitty cat. Congratulations, Nines. You have been through a lot. The future is bright. All right, there we go.
I haven't answered the Super Bowl question, and I'd like to say that let's make playoffs, then talk Super Bowl.
There we go.
Let's make the playoffs first before I can really say like, hey, yeah, we're a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes my true homerism. I'm shining through, Mike. The homerism is just ooh. Look at Russ. He's thinking.
Sorry, I got disconnected for a minute. Bill the Packer fan hacked my account. Get there, pop off. 65 years is a long drought without a title. Pedro Vega, get there and then pop off. 65 years is a long drought without a title. That's a great call out. So it's been a great year. It's been a topsy-turvy year. I want to pose a question to the panel now, and we definitely like you to step up to the open mic and put your comment and your answer to this question. We're going to spread out our thinking now, not just to the North, not just to the Lions, but to the entire league. Russell Wayne, I want you to tell me, of all the teams, whether it be good or bad, what's the biggest surprise team to you? What's a surprise?
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Great call out.
I mean, Avatar. It's like watching the Avatar movie, but he doesn't have blue skin. He's just the Avatar. And then he does all kinds of crazy stuff. And I don't know. I just think that team is a lot like the Lions because they're very young and there's not a lot of known commodities on that team, which can make them dangerous in playoff time because there's not a lot of tape.
Right. And kudos to Doug Peterson in his first year, taken from worst to first, wins the division title. The front office made some shrewd moves that we ridiculed in the offseason. But, hey, they won a division title. Kudos to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Good call out. Detroit Jesus, what's the biggest surprise for you?
I'm going to go in a negative light, and I'm going to say my biggest surprise is the Denver Broncos. Like, who would have thought they'd be so bad? You know, these guys
really?
They were being talked about as Super Bowl contenders. You know, Russ is going to cook, and it's just it was a dumpster fire.
Yes, sir.
They had a great defense. They had a quarterback, good running backs, good wide receivers. What the heck? It's the coaching in Denver, I think, unquestionably. And that wasn't such a surprise to me because we all knew that was kind of an odd hire. So I think that's a great call out. They're definitely one of the most surprising things, though. Greg Rice, what's the biggest surprise for you?
I'm going to go ahead and kind of head in Melvin's direction, too, in terms of just disappointment. I got to go with the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know how many times these owners are going to try to rehash these Belichick branch offs that never work out. Every Lions fan on here, we saw what happened with Matt Patricia. Alienates players, tears the team apart. Team gets progressively worse, and then they fire the guy. Josh McDaniels, the situation with Derek Carr. Who knows what's going to happen with Devontae Adams? Darren Waller's getting older. You're looking at another team whose players are going to eventually want out of this just complete crap situation. I cannot believe that Mark Davis went out there and grabbed another Belichick branch. It makes no sense to me how this keeps happening and how owners keep thinking this will be the guy to do it. You know, I was talking to someone in the chat before. You know, other than riding Tom Brady's coattails, Josh McDaniels' claim to fame was Tim Tebow's one-hit wonder season, where Tebow Magic took place his rookie year, surprising upset over a Super Bowl favored Steelers. That's it. That's it, riding Tom Brady's coattails. This Las Vegas Raiders team, which very talented on paper, just made the playoffs last year despite everything they went through with Coach Gruden and a couple players getting arrested. And just to see this team head in this direction, what do you do now in a very competitive AFC West that is only going to get better from here? So I got to say the Raiders by far.
I couldn't probably agree with you more that the Raiders are the biggest dumpster fire of all. We knew Josh McDaniels was a chump. I knew that going in, and I love the Raiders. They're my second team, you know what I mean? But I took Derek Carr stacks with Devontae Adams in my fantasy leagues. You know, I got Darren Waller and a couple. I got some Hunter Renfrow. I mean, it was terrible. They got Chandler Jones, Crosby. I thought, man, the defense is going to be middle of the pack, but I'm just blown away by the Raiders. But my overachieving team, I'm going to give it to the Seahawks by proxy of Geno Smith alone. We ridiculed the whole thing of going with Geno Smith and Drew Lock and not taking a quarterback. They thumbed their nose at Baker Mayfield. I couldn't understand what they're doing going in with Geno Smith. They know more than me, obviously. What a surprise they were. And for underachieving, I'm going to go with the Colts. I thought Matt Ryan had more in the tank. Michael Pittman, I thought, would have a Pro Bowl year. They had a good defense, arguably one of the best running backs in the league. I thought they'd at least, I predicted them to win the division title like a lot of people did. And for that to just be a total dumpster fire, their ownership is terrible in Indianapolis. And I think that was a big surprise to me that it was as bad as it was. So moving on, we're going to take it back now and come to our final segment. Brought to you by Remax Edge and the Quinn and Phaedra Bartlett team. And it is predictions. And we're going to talk about all the playoff games around the NFL. And we're going to start right here. New York Giants are +3 at Minnesota, our division rivals. Greg Rice, who you like in this game? You don't have to play the points. You just have to give me a winner of the game.
Vikings versus Giants?
Yep.
I'm going to go with the Giants. With the Vikings O-line banged up, look, that front seven that the New York Giants have, that defense overall, I love their defensive coordinators. Just swag the way his little press conferences. He's hilarious. Kind of gives a-hole vibes, a little egotistical, but I like his attacking method. And I think that when Minnesota, with their depleted offensive line, goes up against that Giants defense, they're going to run into some issues. You know, this was a game that Minnesota barely won the first time. So I don't know. I'm taking the Giants for the surprise victory.
That has nothing to do with your heart, right? This is your head. If you're a betting man, you would take the Giants to win, or the Giants to beat Minnesota on the road.
I would.
Okay.
I would.
All right, fair enough. How about you, Detroit Jesus? Who you got, Giants or the Vikings?
Look, man, I'm going with the Giants in an upset. Like, the Vikings have shown too many times that they'll get snuck in the mouth, or let teams hang around that they shouldn't. The last game, like Greg said, would they win by like a field goal or whatever? They barely won that game. Like the Giants like the Vikings all season. The Giants, I think they're hungry. They get their little playoff berth. Daboll's coaching them up pretty solid over there, man. I think they get their revenge. I think they get their revenge this go round.
All right, Russ Wayne, Giants or Vikings? Okay,
Great
with sound.
point.
All right. Who?
So this is my brain talking and not my heart right here. I don't think that the Vikings match up very well against the Giants because they play ball control. They got a very, very good running back in Saquon Barkley, and the Lions the Vikings are dog crap up front. And I think that they're not going to really be able to get any pressure or be able to control the line of scrimmage when it comes to them running the ball. So I think that the Giants are going to be able to control the entire game, and they're going to be able to keep that high-powered offense off of the field and drive the score down a little bit. And it's just not a good matchup for them. I think that the Giants will win this game.
Okay, well, that's three of our panelists picking the Giants. I'm going to have to pick the Vikings in this one. They already beat this team 2 weeks ago. I think that the Giants are a great story. They've been overachieving all year. They have no one to catch a ball. By the way, Kenny Golladay got his first touchdown catch as a Giant yesterday.
Yes.
Yep.
Go Golladay.
And the real problem with Minnesota's defense is the pass defense. And they have no one to catch the ball in New York. So I think that if they're able to stop Saquon Barkley in the run, they will win this game, I believe. They're at home as well. And by the way, Minnesota's been disrespected all year long. Maybe it's warranted, maybe it isn't. But when you get professional athletes getting disrespected, they tend to bite back. So I definitely think Minnesota can win this game. Next game on the slate is Baltimore at Cincinnati. I don't think Baltimore has a quarterback or anything in the take. Let's make it real quick on these predictions. I got Cincinnati to win this game. Russ?
Cincinnati for sure.
Jesus?
Definitely Cincinnati.
Greg Rice.
I don't think Lamar plays.
Cincy all day.
Okay, so all of us agree on Cincinnati. Let us know what you think in the comments. We got the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady's a 3-point underdog at home and a division champion. Greg Rice, will kick it back to you. Dallas or the Bucks?
Dallas. Tony Pollard's going to run wild on them.
On the road against that defense. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Russ. What do you got?
I'm definitely going to take Tampa Bay. They're gonna kill. They're gonna expose the Dallas Cowboys.
Detroit Jesus, Dallas or the Bucks?
Playoff Tom Brady, baby.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with Melvin on that. The
Good
rule
point.
is you don't bet against Tom Brady, or you just don't bet.
Yeah,
So
we got a Tampa Bay all day in the comments too.
I'm not going to. Oh, really good.
Yep.
I'm not going to bet against him. That's all I know. Just ask Matt Ryan. Seattle at San Francisco. Detroit Jesus, will give you this one first. The Sea Chickens or the Niners?
The Niners, man, they're too hot.
It's
Yeah.
a 10-point spread there. Russ
Yeah.
Wayne, Niners, Seahawks.
Niners are just on a different
You think
level.
Brock Purdy? You don't think Pete Carroll could come up with something for Brock Purdy?
Yeah, unless he can stop him from handing the ball off.
Brock Purdy, the first rookie quarterback for 2 touchdowns, 6 consecutive games. Greg Rice.
The Niners all day. That defense is they're just overtaking everybody. What can you do? Great story, Seattle. Not going to happen, though.
Yeah.
I like Seattle in the 10 points in this one. I think the Niners win the game, but I like Seattle to cover. Los Angeles Chargers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Russ, I know you think that Trevor Lawrence is an avatar, but do you think he can hold serve at home against Justin Herbert?
I don't know. I think it's going to be a really, really good game. But I mean, since I just touted them, I'll take the Jacksonville Jaguars in an upset.
Chargers are favored by 1 on the road. Greg Rice, I know you love Justin Herbert. Who you got in this game?
I'm taking the Chargers on pure homerism just because of Justin Herbert. I do not like their coaching. Staley's a joke. Peterson's much better, but I'm taking the Chargers anyway.
Detroit Jesus.
I am going with the Jags, man, because Staley's going to Staley.
I like the Chargers to win this game. I just think they're a better team. Jacksonville's hot right now, and they are at home. But we saw them play the Lions in 40-14. I mean, you bring that against Justin Herbert, and you're going to lose. I like the Chargers here to win in a close one. Miami at the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to start this one off because I just don't think Buffalo is going to lose at all unless maybe they lose in Kansas City. So Miami, I think they're a really good team. They deserve to be in the playoffs. They're a 10.5-point underdog in this game. With the DeMar Hamlin thing, that place is going to be rocking. The whole team is going to be in another plane, I think. Russ Wayne, what do you think? Miami or Buffalo?
Buffalo. Buffalo is that's my Super Bowl pick.
Right. Greg.
Bills Mafia by 3 possessions.
Wow.
Yeah, shout out to Mark Schmidt.
For sure.
Yeah.
Detroit Jesus, make it a wrap.
Miami limped crawled to the playoffs, and Buffalo's going to put them down.
Well, this would be the rubber game between them, obviously, because Miami did beat them once this year, and they beat Miami once. But I don't know, man. Kansas City comes out with the 1 seed, and I know that Buffalo, all the emotions are running high, but you're going to have to go into Arrowhead in that AFC Championship game, or is that going to be at a neutral site? Well, that'll be at a neutral site, won't it? I think so. AFC Championship game will be at a neutral site if it is Buffalo and Kansas City. So, all right, that wraps up the predictions. I want to do a little encore now. Russ, why don't you read some comments?
Let's see. Cade Lambert here. You sure I'm the miserable one? Pretty sure you're crying in the fetal.
We got a little smack off going on in the comments between users.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
We'll just let
you guys,
that stay there.
you guys can just keep arguing. That's cool.
One
Green
Facebook
Bay
user
Packers,
has
bunch of
confirmed
losers.
it'll be a neutral site for the AFC Championship game, so thank you for that. I was pretty sure about that. But one thing I wanted to talk about does Detroit Jesus, this question's for you because I already know what Russ is going to say to it, so we'll kick it over to him last. Does Dan Campbell deserve Coach of the Year?
100%, man. Like, come on,
deserves it.
1-6 to 9-8. You knock off the Packers you're coming off a 3-win season. Like, I don't think anybody's done a better job. And if he'd have had like a team a better team or whatever. Like it's, man, I don't think it's close.
Wow. What about you, Greg? Does he deserve Coach of the Year?
I think he should definitely be in the final, or at least draw a decent amount percentage of votes. For me personally, like you alluded to earlier, it's really kind of hard to go against Coach Carroll. We looked at it for the last, or at least I'll speak for myself. I looked at it the last few years, and I looked at Pete Carroll as too old, and he couldn't get it done. And that let Russell Wilson bring him in a coach. And it really looks like that's just not how it was. It looks like Coach Carroll's got himself, his team back on track. And this is a team that I expected to finish with a record compared to the Bears, what they currently have. So
yeah, same here.
As long as Campbell's in the final play, gets a decent amount of votes, I'm okay with it, man.
Russell Wayne, does Dan Campbell deserve Coach of the Year?
I mean, he absolutely does deserve it, and but there are other coaches that do deserve it. I think that Peterson definitely needs to be into consideration. But him going from 1-6 and turning the ship around, I mean, it can't be understated that he had an under-talented roster and way overachieved. Yeah, we got the notification, right? But yeah, I think he definitely deserves it. And anybody that would think otherwise that he wouldn't deserve it, yeah, I mean, no, he deserves it.
No. Well, I really appreciate you guys' takes, but the two leading candidates, I believe, for Coach of the Year should be Kevin O'Connell and Nick Sirianni. It's hard to deny Nick Sirianni when you go 11-0, right? And without a doubt, I think Howie Roseman should get Executive of the Year of some of the moves he's made in Philadelphia to build that team. I mean, Brad Holmes would definitely be a close second, in my opinion, for GM of the Year. But for Coach of the Year, Dan Campbell did an incredible job. He won me over. He went 8-2 down the stretch, but that's not good enough for Coach of the Year. Ask Brian Flores, okay? Kevin O'Connell, definitely an incredible job that he did in Minnesota after going 11-0 in one-possession games, which has been the knock on the Vikings the last 2 years. Mike Zimmer did terrible job coaching in one-possession games. I think they lost 7 of them last year with one possession. And then to turn that around and come back 11-0, yes, Doug Peterson did a great job, but the NFC North's a pretty darn tough division. Jacksonville plays in one of the weakest divisions. Okay, so I can't give it to him either. So for me, it's going to have to be Nick Sirianni with Dan Campbell coming in 5th. One of our Facebook users says, "Stop Super Bowl champ Lions make the playoffs first." True, true. We're asking, do they contend for a Super Bowl, which by proxy says, are they going to make the playoffs?
I want to touch that.
I
want to touch that because here's the thing. This is the problem I have with comments like that. It's almost like, do I have to get, whoever you are, Facebook user, do I have to get your permission first before I'm allowed to root and say that we're Super Bowl with that?
No, but that's his opinion.
Wait. We have to make the playoffs first, and then are you going to send me a card? Are you going to tell? When are you going to let me know when it's okay to be fully supportive of my team? Because I want to know. You send me a carrier pigeon and let me know when it's okay, because I wouldn't want to celebrate too early or anything. I like my team. I like where we're going. We're going to contend for the Super Bowl next year. Just bet that.
That take right there is why they put out memes the next day showing banners in Ford Field. Right there. So. All right. I like it. Hey, we want to thank everyone for tuning into the program. And I want to remind everyone that the Main Event 365 goes 365 days a year, bringing you Detroit Lions and NFL content. We also do a podcast every Thursday anywhere where you get your podcasts. Be sure to tune in. Thanks to our illustrious panel of headliners and all of our sponsors, and my illustrious producer, Mr. Russell Wayne. For him, I'm Main Event Mike. God bless each and every one of you. Peace out.
Later.